Welcome to Factory Town, a new game available on Steam Early Access as of the 12th of March, and it's around £13–14, something like that. I thought it looked quite interesting. Got a couple of commenters actually suggesting it and someone on Twitter. So, well, why don't we take a look? And please excuse my throat. I've got a bit of a frog in the throat again. Yeah, it's fine for now. Let's see how we get started. So, as you might expect, this is about automation, and it's sort of a blend between Factorio and Settlers, if you like, but it is based in a 3D world rather than overhead or first person as in Satisfactory recently. So why don't we take a look at what we've got? So in a new game, you get various scenario things to actually look for, and I've gone through a number of these generations, basically generating the map, to find something reasonable to actually get for us to get started with. Just leave autoplay space off for my tastes, and smooth starting area on, so you got a nice place to put your base to start off with. And it also means I don't have to fiddle around with crafting ramps and stuff like that on camera. However, let's load the map that I found. There we go, and let's see where we get started. Okay, so here's our starting map. We've got some grain, we've got some stone, and we've got some, basically, trees. And those are the three things you want. Access to water is nice too, and this seems like a nice starting area, sort of around here-ish. None of these resources are infinite. They will actually get depleted. However, we will be able to replace them with farms and stuff like that later, but just bear in mind, you know, it's not, it's not fixed. You will have to move things around. So we'll go through the tutorial sections and we'll see where we get to on this. This is just basically saying build a base. So let's go into press B, go to the base, and then you can choose where you want it. Okay, so the base isn't all that important, at least not for me at the start of the game. We'll see where it gets on later. So if I have somewhere like here, that is fine, I think. Yep, it's right next to the water, but it doesn't much matter, as far as I know anyway. I'm sure someone will correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm not sure if you can actually move it. There is no delete option once you've chosen, so yeah, let's hope that isn't a problem. So let's click on to the next step, and it's basically going to say gather some wood. And as you can see over here, we've got trees. We can spin the camera around, and yeah, basically we have to go and gather that and get them to bring it back. Now there is no, I've not put it right next to the trees to get started, so let's just grab a worker, and we can right click on a tree and then drag to the base, and then that worker will head off, head to the crops, unfortunately, and we'll get a second worker to do the same thing, and they are going to get started. They're going to collect 15 wood. Because it's so far away, I'm going to do the same thing with the other workers, and we'll just reassign them later. And by later, I mean in a minute, as soon as we've pretty much got 15 wood. There we go. They're going to get that and stockpile it. You'll see it's building up here. We've got 12 and a couple more heading back. So the next thing we're probably going to be asked is to pick up some, well, basically make some houses, and then think about some grain, getting some of that done. So let's just take there we go. Yep, so build a house is what it's saying. So why don't we just look at first the path along sort of this direction. And, you know, the paths, basically, our little workers will run, well, much faster on paths, but it just gives me an idea to plan stuff out. We have got some stone here, so we're going to want to think about the stone quarry that's going to be coming around. So we probably want to build our houses a little bit further out here, maybe. So let's just press 4 and turn them around. We need some more resources, because I've just used it for the path. How many does it take? Buildings, house... 15. Okay, so that should be there shortly. And 14 and 15. Great. Now I should be able to build a house. So let's say there. Let's say there. Okay, can't build another one yet. But the houses let us increase our population. It's 4 out of 6 right now because we've got a house, so we can put down a couple more workers and get them to do whatever we like. In this particular case, we can also get them to grab some grain and sell it. Now, let's press next. The important point about this is that it also increases the happiness, and that's the happiness scale here. It's 0 right now. So if we tell this guy to go and right-click and drag, it's going to go and get some grain. And you'll see it's going to start selling for yellow coins. Then we're going to have to pay for a lumber mill. Yeah, we may well actually need more houses as well, so... we don't have quite enough for more houses yet. However, let me skip forwards until we do. Okay, so we've got enough for a second house, so let's just put that in while we're actually going, and let's get you to go and get grain for the second house, which should increase his happiness to 1 each. It'll take them a little while to, there we go, happiness 1 each. Got +2 happiness, good. Now, for the lumber mill, you're also going to need some stone, so we have to get that going as well. You see, we've got 5 stone and 20 wood, so we're going to need some more workers. Let's get a couple more, and we'll get them to bring stone back here, okay? And for now, I'm going to put a path down, but that may change. And these workers should automatically use it, which makes it faster. Though we won't need this tree long run very shortly, but we need that lumber mill first. So we need 20 wood and 5 stone. We need population as well, which means we need another house, because the lumber mill needs an actual person in it to basically do anything. So we will need another house, which means I probably should put more paths down, heading out this way. And yeah, let me just rotate so we're nearly top down a little bit. And we need a few more wood before that'll actually complete. Let me just grab this worker, tell it to do wood cutting as well. And are we nearly there? 12 wood. Let's skip forwards. There we go, 15. So you can go down right there. I'm going to leave enough for a path between them. And then we'll need to get happiness going as well. But now we should see that we are okay. We've got a population. We just need 20 wood to be able to build it. That wood's about to come in, it's just finished, so we should now be able to build the lumber mill, and we can choose where we want for this. At the right, the arrow, we're going to choose for where we want the road. So if we have, say, 3 for another house there, this should be just about the right kind of area. So if I then just basically put a road to here, it's only a dirt path at the moment. No, we're just short on wood. But then we're going to reset this to basically grab the trees from here and then put them straight into the lumber mill. Going to do the same thing with you. Same thing with you. And then we just need to select the recipe in here, choose planks, and everyone should set off. One of them, but there may still be people going, but we want to also select a worker and actually tell them to hover over the lumber mill here. And we can say, we want you to, if we right click and drag from this one, we're basically saying unload the product, i.e. the planks from here, all the way back over to the base, and then you're fine. He's going to head off for the planks now, and this should actually change over. So it just needs 2 planks. There it goes. And let's put that path in place. So they'll use the path if they can do, or at least they'll use the shortest time, I think, is the way it works. And you, we don't need you to do that. Let's get you to also supply planks. And we've got everything sort of set up. Right, so we've got some lumber being converted into planks. So we've got 9 wood and we've got 3 planks building up. So now we need to upgrade houses. Now you can upgrade the population limit by putting more houses down, or by upgrading the houses themselves. And there's the first one. It needs 5 planks to do so. Press upgrade house, it goes to level 2. And we get a few more people to play with. Okay, it's then going to say we want to upgrade our base. The base upgrade is going to 10 more planks again, but we also need 4 happiness. And you need, I think, either 4 houses for that. I'm not sure if last level 2 can actually get to more than 1 happiness, but I'm going to go by just actually setting this down. Once we have enough wood, we need 15 wood, of course. I wonder whether it'll also get stockpiled in here, or if we also have to get some wood to bypass this. So let's just get a couple more people and get some of them just to supply wood this way for now. And that will do the job, and then we'll be able to build another house with it. We should need short on 1 more person, so let's put another person down, and then let's build another house. This person can go and grab some grain and put into here. Now, it does seem like it's a little bit laborious putting, lots of people on grain, supplying them straight into the houses, which increases happiness and lets you sell basically yellow coins, or you get yellow coins for selling stuff. But more importantly, it raises the happiness, or should raise the happiness once we have another person. Let's just put you down, and you are going to grab you and then put in there. So we should end up with 4 happiness now in a second. There it is, 4, which means we can then upgrade our base by pressing this. And that lets us upgrade the number of houses. Right, the next thing is to eliminate this sort of horrible, everyone's going to get their own grain. The way you do that is by building a market. Now, the market is quite a nice thing. You basically can put it down wherever you like, but there's this big circle of where it actually covers. Basically, instead of supplying the houses with the grain, you'll supply it to the market, and then the everything else will work out. So if we just put that down, and then we want to grab these workers while they're actually trying to grab stuff, and just say, instead of grabbing there, just go and get the grain. And you are going to get the grain as well. I'm going to supply it straight to the food market, not to the houses. So we need to watch out for these. And you can go and stand over there. And make sure, I'm just watching for which one goes straight to a house. That guy, that's the guy. You can stand over there as well. Okay, and we want to dump everything into the food market. You can stand over here. And have we got everything? We don't want everything directly sold now. I think that looks fine. Okay. I'm missing one, but we can work it out later. As you can see, though, this grain is being depleted, so we are going to need to get, a replacement for that. However, supplying grain straight away works, but it works better if you convert it into flour first. And to do that, we're going to need a grain mill. So, grain mill. And again, nicely, whoops, grain mill. We need to place this, and placing it on the same road for the moment. And then we, again, choose the recipe as flour. And now we can instead basically get these same workers to supply grain to the grain mill. And you also doing the same thing. And you doing the same thing. Now these workers, you can say, supply the flour to the food market. With the food market now dealing with flour instead of grain, that's a little bit better in terms of what we're selling. And now we have to build a workshop. This builds wagon wheels, essentially. So that'll let us build carts. Carts can carry more than people, but need roads, really, to actually improve the speed. But let's get on with that first. So buildings, workshop, it needs more population. So we're going to need more houses. So let's just make some more. Are we going to need more? What do you actually need? There we go. And let's put paths behind them. Do we not have enough? Oh, we're just out of wood, basically. We're reliant on that little bit supply of wood, but that's fine. I'll build more paths when we need to. And yeah, this food market is basically making all of these get happy. And we're up to 5 happiness now. So we can now place down our workshop, and I'm going to build it out here a little bit. It is a bit compact at the moment, I will admit. However, I'm just trying to do that to shorten the path length. There we go. And we can now create wagons. Let's get rid of you. We're going to select in here, select recipe. We want the wood wheel. And that should work. That means what we're going to require, let's see, what have we got for the output? The output seems to be full, so we should be able to get that done. Let's put a worker down, and then let's get it to go and grab some planks, bring the planks to the workshop to start making wagon wheels, which we can then move back into our main base or wherever we want to from that point. It's basically going to ask us to make a barn, however, and any item, as it says, any item there is usable when placing a new building or purchasing an upgrade. So we have a barn to build. And the barn is in here as well. And we can put it right next door. Okay. Nice and compact for the moment. We will have to move some of these later, particularly the lumber mill and the stonemason, but that's going to be coming up very shortly. So, barn done. Create a wagon, and that needs 4 wood wheels. So let's just see what you have. You have 6 wood wheels already. Good. So we can just press buildings. Workers, sorry, and then wagon. We need 4, but it's not available because it's in the workshop yet. So let's just grab a person and let's tell them to grab the wagon wheels and put them into the barn. Okay. And should we have you available now? Let's go for workers. What's in the barn? 3, 4 now. So now we should be able to make it. Wagon, and we can put it wherever we like. Now, a person doesn't have to drag that. It acts basically, there's not much different to an actual person. It's just it will it will roll on its own. You don't need a person dragging it. It's a magic wagon. Ignore the logistical problem with that, but it's fine. We're going to the building. Yeah, we've already done that. And now we have chutes. Yes, this is basically like belts, almost in Factorio. Chutes let us basically work on remote areas. Get the workers, you can see this little picture. Basically, the worker just steps forward, drops onto the end of the chute, and it rolls basically downhill. It works for natural resources, and we can actually do that to supply stuff automatically. Now, it doesn't much matter here because this food market is, or rather the grain mill, is right next to this area of grain. It will become more useful later, maybe, when we have stuff being gathered from further out. We'll need to reserve some space for a farm later. So, yeah. I'm not sure where I'm going to want chutes, to be honest. Everything is nice and neat. We could do it slightly just to demonstrate this here. So if I just go to here and put a chute in there, we'll get that worker to just drop straight onto the chute. Slightly shorter path. There they go. And they don't have to move. They can just drop it on there and it goes straight into our lumber mill. Next up is the stonemason, basically converting our stones into stone bricks for us. And that is a straightforward one to build. And we just need to choose, oh, not enough population capacity. Need more houses, or in fact upgraded versions. I guess we can upgrade these. Let's upgrade them there and there. So we've got 4 more workers available. And buildings, stonemason. There we go. So for the moment, I'm going to leave it on this side. There we go. And you, instead of working there, are going to basically supply stuff into our stonemason. Stonemason, we select the recipe, making stone bricks, and that should do that job. And then the stone bricks can be moved into your barn or your base, wherever you actually want. In this case, we can just say for this wagon, we can just get the wagon to go and supply it to our base. Not going to be terribly fast, but it'll be fast enough. It'll fill up. There we go. And that's working pretty well. So we've got 19 workers essentially. Perhaps too many working on the grain. They will deplete it, but there's not much really we can really do about that right now. And yes, it's going to say your base needs upgrading. To get upgraded, you need stone bricks and you need 8 happiness. Now you can do happiness by upgrading everything. Level 2. We have 6 happiness at the moment. We're on 8, so let's just place a couple more houses and some paths. There we go. Lots of nice little ordered city layout, at least village layout, I guess. Yep, will you now get, well, 7 happiness, and then 8 should come about once it supplies food to this last house on the right-hand side. Hopefully. Have you got enough bricks yet? No, got 4 bricks. That's being supplied by this wagon that just decides, yeah, I'm not going to use this dirt path because it can't really gain much benefit, I assume. And it's just going to go straight across here whenever it can get some stone bricks. So why don't we just get a couple more workers and we'll get those to actually do some work to get more stone. And we could put a chute in there, but we don't really need it because they're right next door, essentially. We can put a path though, and that'll just help a little bit. We could build a second path here, to be honest. But that's where it's insisting on that going. Now, if we go into paths, you can set up a road network here. We just need some stone bricks, but we need that for the upgrade to the base. So we'll come back to that later. We'll use wagons later on. And with our base at 8 happiness, we can then upgrade it again. Now we get the house maximum increased again, so we can go up to 12 houses if we wanted to. But I upgraded these to level 2, so we can go up to 36 people right now without having to do anything else. General store, again, we can do the similar kind of effect to the food market. Basically, this helps supply all of your houses, all your people, and the only real difference there that going on is that you can feed in other materials. So if we have like an excess of wood, we can feed those materials into the general store. So if we go into buildings, general store, and we could put it here once, once I have enough. There we go. Just have to wait for the people to go through. There we go. General store. And this, again, will supply a large area around it. And then we basically choose what to actually supply this with. Now, we don't have to supply it with anything just yet, but have we got anything being done? So let's get those workers here to actually just supply trees to this just for a second, or one of them to supply trees. And one of these workers can actually, well, let's get a new worker actually. Let's just get him to supply some stone across here as well. And they should both be taken in. So that will work out to help things around the houses. Okay, let's get on to the next stage and then earn red coin. Okay, so we have to basically deliver stone bricks to the general store or sell anything else. But stone bricks will actually do the job. Let's just get another worker for a second and just tell him to grab the stone bricks and take them over there. And this should just go straight through. There we go. Red coins. And then it's going to say school. Now, school is not for happiness or sort of education as such. It's more your R&D building. It basically needs to be built for that. And then you can unlock lots of other stuff. So, school is relatively easy to place. I'm going to just say put it here. Yep. And this needs to be supplied, and we need to choose recipes. The recipe is just what you want to actually go for. Now, you might think you want farming. That farming will do the job. However, you're going to need a few things for farming because you... in fact, we need that first anyway because we need to actually research it. But beyond that, you're going to need to get supplying for fertilizer, and you're going to need water. And there'll basically be a farm at that point. So we need to then go, yep, you're done. We need to go and supply paper to it. So we need to choose the recipe for the lumber mill. And instead of supplying planks like this, we need to choose, at least temporarily, for it to make some paper. You can, of course, unclick planks so that it just exclusively makes paper. Just so that we have the option to grab the paper with another worker. Let's just grab one from here. And say you can grab paper and take it to the school. The school is going to basically turn that into research points. And let's see how much paper you have. We'll see the input. It needs a few other things. One of the things it needs is water. And why don't we just go and make a path for that. Okay, so our path can go here. And these always wait for planks, which obviously isn't there anymore. So they can go and supply more water for the moment. And we'll leave that guy there because once we start this back up on planks again, it will be fine. In fact, at this point, let's just see whether they can actually make both. Do they have enough materials to make both? We'll see. Okay, so the paper's been crafted. And this should now hopefully have started researching. Yeah, 1 out of 25. It's started. And we need more paper for it. We can increase the speed by adding more workers here, just like many other buildings, like the lumber mill, for instance. If we had an excess of input. Now, the input is lots of logs, basically, and not a lot of water. The water is building up a little bit. Yeah, so we want to keep an eye on this, and maybe, you know, we can up the number of workers if we wanted to. So 2. There we go. And we're at 30 out of 36. And we'll see what they actually supply. Do I want more people holding water? Let's just grab some more. And there you go. Buckets of water. How are you going? 6 out of 25. Let's skip forward until it's finished farming. And in comes the research. And there we go. We got an animal pasture and we got medicine. Now, the animal pasture is important because that is basically the fertilizer. And as it says, farms will automatically harvest nearby resources and replant them when depleted. Farm tiles, water, and fertilizer will speed crop regrowth speeds. Okay. Right, so if we have space, it'd be nice to be maybe put a farm down here. Although let's see about how much space it actually takes up. So buildings, farms, and you do have space there. We could put you down. And which of these can it actually fit? I'd almost prefer to get rid of that tile, if anything. So can I actually... No, I can't remove you. Well, we could wait till it goes away, or we could build it in a slightly less optimized spot. Farming. Yeah. Farming, mining. Plant grain. We need grain to plant grain. But we can manually plant it, so that's not too bad. Okay. Why don't we move this further away? Because if you're playing this for the first time, what you may find is that you've depleted your starting grain. So we have some up here that we can think about actually putting down, and that will help us to understand longer paths and stuff like that. Even though it's not the nicest or easiest place to actually do, let's actually go and do that as an example. So farming. Here you'll see it should manage all of that, which is good. Let's put you down. And farm tiles are now available. And we are going to need, however, a path through here. So we're going to want to go this way, straight down, and then maybe across into here and do something along those lines. So we have a way to do that. Let's just actually go and start the next recipe up. Animal pasture seems like a decent one. The only downside is here, I'm also going to need water. So I'm going to need to come in from this direction for water. And that should do. So let's just assume that we... Can we actually not build that way? Is that a ramp? That is a ramp. Yeah, I think I'm going to need... Oh no, there's a carrot there, that's why. Let's just drag that to the water. And is there any way for me to remove that? I don't really want that there. Let's just see. Tools. Can I destroy a block? Oops, tools. Destroy block. No. Can I remove you with farming, mining? Plant. No, I would like to remove you, please. That's entirely annoying. Remove block layer, maybe? No. I will figure out a way around that. Even if I have to just go... In fact, let's just... That's going to really annoy me. But, yeah. We got a nice little decorative feature there. And then this way, we're going to be going this sort of direction. So let's just head this way. And we got a dirt path. That's probably not the right thing to do. We probably want an actual stone path, but we'll get to that soon enough. And then let's just create a person up here and let's get them to bring in water from here all the way to our farm, which is what it's going to need. So we can select recipe, and it's got grain selected by default, which is good, and it will auto-manage the recipes for us. So we need to apply water and fertilizer. We do not have fertilizer yet, but we do have some water, a little bit. We will then have to bring it all the way back into town, of course, which is why we may not want this to be a dirt path. We may want to go straight to stone, which will be in paths, road. And as long as it's flat, this should be straightforward. We can just create a road. And we can probably do the same thing this way. Have we got enough, road to go? Where do we want this? Well, let's just do it all the way to the end. There we go. And hopefully that's nice and easy for everyone. And then we do actually want another wagon. So let's just build ourselves a worker, a wagon, put it up here. And then we can then select that to actually bring out in our farm. So once we get fertilizer, we should be able to actually do that. That's the end of the tutorial. So we are going to want an animal pasture, which is coming up on the research shortly. And here's our research. Animal pasture done. Let's see what that actually takes to build. Pasture is everything we already have, and I'm not sure what's going to be needed for it, but given that it gives out fertilizer, let's just move you over there. We want this close to the farm, I would think, and if we're going to plant all the way down to here, then we probably want it in that space right there. So let's just build the pasture. Oh, it's got a range as well, but this will do. Okay. And then select the recipe. So we want fertilizer, basically. It also needs water and animal feed. And that's produced by grain mill. So we're probably going to want another grain mill up here, basically to loop this. We want the farm to supply grain, the grain to supply the pasture to supply the farm. We may need to kickstart that to get going. But let's have a look for buildings. Another grain mill. We're short on stone and planks, which are being provided, although we may have to get stone manually. Some of it's being sent that way. Let's just grab you for a second. Yeah, I don't necessarily want stone that way. Let's just grab some and bring it to the base. And planks, then we're probably going to want to do the next research. Select a recipe. Basic logistics of forestry. Why don't we look at the forestry? That goes for a tree planter, so renewable trees, I would assume. And we'll get that started. And where is this? What have we got? We've got plenty of output for the planks. So if we just grab... Oh, we're out of people as well. Okay. Is there anyone not doing anything? You we're not doing anything. Why not? Are you full on water? That's probably why. Let's get you to bring planks back to our main base. We can always remove the grain mill, by the way. We don't have to leave them where they are. To remove them, you just click on where's my existing grain mill gone? There it is, and just press delete, and it'll get rid of it. But all the workers will just go, huh? Where do I bring stuff now? Are you crazy? So in here we go, buildings, grain mill. Now we're going to need a couple of people, aren't we? Or at least a building upgraded. We can upgrade you, and that gives us another building availability, and we will grab the grain mill. So, yeah, why don't we put that in that little bend? Yeah, what's the range on you? Just to the right, that little bend, just in case we need to just expand the amount of farming area. Grain mill, there we go. And you're going to basically produce animal feed. And then we need to kickstart this. Basically, we need to supply some grain to here. So why don't we just grab that worker for a second and get you to supply some grain to the grain mill. Then an extra worker to supply some grain from here to the pasture. And I need to upgrade another house. And a third worker to grab the fertilizer to the farm. Okay, it's got everything it needs. So presumably that will start now producing grain. And we've got some grain here. And that should start being supplied. Well, in fact, hang on. I don't necessarily want you to go and grab that now. Now I'll get you to grab the grain from the farm, straight into the grain mill. There we go. So that's a nice little triangular loop, and hopefully they should then be able to supply everything needed. We'll have to take a look at how much input it needs for the output. However, we are still going to need another person for some water as well. So let's just grab you. You're going to grab water for our pasture. And yeah, let's see how well that works. We are going to probably use this wagon to bring it all the way back to town. But then this grain will disappear. We'll get rid of that grain mill, and then we'll have our remote farm here bringing everything in and leaving more space for inner city stuff in our village. That's probably a good place to stop in the episode. It's about around about half an hour. Why don't you have a look at it and let me know what you think. Put it in the comments down below if you're already playing it. And if I've done anything wrong, of course, you can point out in the comments. If you like the episode, give it a thumbs up. Feel free to subscribe, share, etc. Click on the bell for notifications, and I'll probably see you next episode for some more Factory Town. Seems quite enjoyable so far. Sort of a blend of Factorio and Settlers. Nice game. Available on Steam now. Early access, and of course, as normal, I'm not sponsored. I paid it with my own money. As always, guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.